Okay, my staff cat is born in the 9th of September 1979, and we know that the retirement age is 60. So, just how many years will he left right to work? Now, if you don't know what is the Excel formula, well, gone are those days, right? You can just use AI to find out that formula, right? And that's exactly what we do, right? So I basically ask this prompt, right? And we come up with this. Now, all we need is just understand a bit and then just understand the explanation and so on, right? And then apply it into it here, right? And you can see that here, this is exactly what I do, right? I put in the that diff, right? So to find out the difference between today's date and also the birth, right? The date of birth, right? And then I use another function called eDate. So why eDate? Now you can see that the explanation here as well, right? The eDate calculates the retirement date by adding 60 years, right? So that means since the born of the cat, right? And until the next 60 years, right? So that is the retirement date, right? So but then it calculates in months, so that's why we need times 12, right? And that's exactly what we do here, right? So we know that this is the retirement date, and now what we do is just find out the today, and then minus the date, right? And then find out how many years that you're going to work, right? 14. Now if you want to know the exact retirement date, exactly, right, you're going to use the eDate as well, right? Use the date of birth, and then add 60 years times 12 months, right? So then you will get the exact dates, and then it's 14 years, right? Okay, so now we know that Excel works that way, right? So can we do the same in Power Query? Well, how can we know that the retired date, right? 60. So here, right? So we're gonna use the same thing, right? To yeah, this is it, right? This is what Excel, right? And then now we know they want to know that is that equivalent for Power Query. So we just simply ask that, right? So asking that, let us look at here. It says that you can use the same, right? Called date at years, right? And then this is the date of birth, and then 60, right? So well, let's just take a look at this here, right? So same thing, right? I load into Excel, Power Query, and I go to the Power Table range here, right? And now I go to add column and I choose the just before that, right? I'm going to change this date of birth, right, to a date type. Okay, replacing it. Now, we'll basically just change here, right? And then I'll just go and add column, add a custom column. Okay, add custom column, and now we just call it the date dot add years, right? Do we have 8 years? Yes, we have that, right? So just remove this here, and now we just double click on this, their birth, and then now we just want to have what do we have there? 60 years, right? And times 12 months, right? Because it's calculated in months time, right? So then this new column, we call it retirement year dates, retirement dates, and then click OK. And yeah, that's it, right? 26.99, right? So is it the correct one, right? Let's just see here. 2660 times 12, right? Let's see, is that correct? No, it's just 60 will do, right? Because it's just adding years, right? So you don't need months, right? That's why it's like it couldn't be that long, right? So we can just go ahead here and change it to just that year, do, right? Yes, 2039, right? So all right, let's see here. That's the explanation. That's exactly what we do. Now we're gonna find out that is that possible to do that diff as well, right, in Power Query? Well, the answer is yes, right? And you're going to enter these. However, we're gonna do a little bit difference, right? We're gonna use the let functions, and the in, right? And then you edit up some step here as well, right? So how do we add this? How do we add this? So we're gonna define the dates, and then we're gonna add the years, right? Now we're gonna use the home and click on advanced editor. And from here, we're gonna see that is there a way to really add this here, right? Add the date. So you can see the step that we just created earlier. This is adding this here, right? So how do we add that step there as well, right? For every step, we're gonna put a comma here. So well, I have the add column, right? So now the thing is that I did add a column, but I'm kind of like I want to add something else, right? So in, right? Can I say that somehow, right? This is not necessary work, right? So I actually talk about, I just want to copy this, right? So it's like, oh, this is one, right? So I'll just show you what I do right here. Now let's say that there's a birth date and then there's a retirement date. So I just copy this here and just come back here, right? And then just put comma. I'm just showing you that this is not working, yeah? So let's just put here in and then I change it to here with the step here, year at, right? And then just go and click done, right? So it'll give us an error, right? So the import birth date doesn't match, right? So we got to go back to advanced editor, and it says saying that the retirement here, the birth date is not that, right? So it's supposed to be the date of birth date, the date of birth, right? So all right. So perhaps I can just change it here, right? Because that is just basically the change the birth date, right? So the birth date state. So let's just change, right? So a lot of this step here may not be at first correct, right? So we just put it here. Let's see if I change it here. Birth date, and then that's a retirement date, right? And let's see if that works, right? So let's done. Can it work? No, the date value must contain the date component, right? So no, cannot, right? So gotta go here again, right? So you can't change that like this. So we gotta change it to this just the date of birth, right? So date of birth, right? So what's the date of birth? Date of birth, date of birth, right? Okay, I just put it here, column. This is the date of birth column, right? And we just click see what works. No, there's a few shorthand for the field on the each here, right? So all right, so there's a few here. So there's a each the date. So there's a each at a field. No, it doesn't work, right? So just because that ChatGPT give you this list, right? It does not help much here, right? So we're going to show you that even there is other way as well, right? So how do we add a new step? So unless when you encounter problems, right, what can you do, right? You go further, right? Asking, like example here, we say there's an error, so like this here. So, well, I want to you can actually copy out this prompt message, right, and then put it into chat this AI, right, and then just ask how to solve, right, and you give yourself certain other ways to solve it as well, right. So like we have here added a little edge here. So so basically just adding all the step here, right? So let's see, okay. So I'm going to go here and I just replace the whole thing here. Look, wait. Did I add the additional column here? Oh yeah, I need to add the in as well. The in step. All right, let's just see. Will that works? All right, so retirement age doesn't work that way, right? So let's just take out one by one. The birthday is not there. Oh yeah, never mind. That one is just because of that, right? Not much change. Yeah, we'll just change it to date of birth. And do we have another one? The date of birth here. Do we have that? No, I guess that's about it, right? Let's see if that works. All right, so I have a retirement age, and then I have the years, right? And that works, right? That works. All right, so done. Now, so this is already I solved it, right? So you actually work on the date of birth. So that's why I highlight this here as well. Now, well, I know that the Power Query is just one of the tools in Power BI, right? So we can use that in Power BI. Well, it's the same thing, right? It's just adding here at the same step here, and you need to load it into Power BI, the table into Power BI, and then add a new column, right? And that's all. So why you want to use the Power BI instead of Excel, right? Here's an example. Here's the reason why, right? For HRBP, right? So we can see that Excel and Power BI. What's the difference here, right? So thank you. So get this from my LinkedIn, right? And then you can see why is it so. Thank you for watching.